Welcome back to Nightstand Coffee. My name's Todd.
And I'm Jennifer.
And this is Season 1, Episode 14. And today we're talking about...
Assigning meaning.
Assigning meaning. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean that oftentimes in relationships, whether it's your spouse relationship or coworker or anybody, family, that we assign meaning to someone's actions that may not be accurate. And then we respond to that meaning and we act out from that meaning as opposed to like really what happened. And so I kind of want to dissect that and talk about it. So probably the best example would be there's a couple that we're working with and the husband makes annoying sounds, just period. Like crinkles the bag for chips, grabs the steering wheel. He just does weird things that like, just to kind of like...
Yeah, just kind of a nervous habit or an absent-minded kind of, just a habit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and so then the wife has, she's named it, but a particular, there's a disorder for it. I don't know if disorder is a strong word, but like there's an aversion to it. Like it bothers her. Like it hits this certain frequency for her and she can't take it.
It's like misophonia or something like that.
Maybe. And so, anyway, came in here. He sits down and says, she just basically wants me to be a different person.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't like anything about me and wants me to be a different person.
Right.
And so then we take the session and kind of dissect it. And essentially it's not that she hates everything about him. It's that she wants him to quit making that noise.
Yeah. And just because it really bothers her, it's like that she can't tune it out. She can't,
Like, and it's a legit thing.
Yeah.
Right. So we talked about how like basically he's assigning meaning to her words, like taking them way more sternly, strongly than she's intending him. She's basically saying these noises annoy me. And he says, what he's hearing is you annoy me. Right.
Yeah.
Everything about you is annoying.
Yeah.
Right. And I would rather be with someone else.
Right.
And so I think we do that a lot, that if we aren't believing the best in our spouse, then we automatically attribute things that aren't intended.
Right.
And then we work out from that. We work from that space. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that we assign a meaning and a value to that thing that the other person hasn't intended.
Right.
And because we do that, then it grows, right? It becomes a greater issue than it needed to be, and can be destructive.
Mm-hmm. A different situation that I was working with without you was essentially the wife had made a request to the husband, and he was supposed to pick up something from the store and bring it home. And for like 3 days straight, he forgot to do it. He even like was walking out of the place and calls her and says, "Hey, I'm going to the store now. I'm going to grab it. I'll be home." Okay. Then he comes home and he forgot to do that.
Yeah.
And so...
That could have been us, by the way.
I know. That's what I say. I said, girl, I have lived your life. I've lived your life, right?
Yes.
And so like we talked a little bit about just the differences in brain functioning as far as like, that she and I are wired very similarly, that like it's like if we have something to do, like we know, okay, we have 3 hours left. We have 2 hours left. We have 1 hour left to get to, we have to do these things. And like, I asked her, I said, if I called a date on the calendar, you could tell me with pretty close accuracy what you have to do that day, even if it's like 6 months from now. She's like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And I'm like,
right.
Yeah, like I live that. And then how that's not true for you.
No.
And so, right. Yeah, no, there's
and
no
I'm
way.
assuming not true for her husband either.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because she's also married to a creative. And so, so kind of talking through that like when her husband forgets to do these things, because like he's really good at whatever's right in front of him. Because I said, listen, I bet whatever shows up in front of him gets all his attention. And she's like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And I'm like, yes, I know your husband in a different form, right? And so we talked through that, right? And so basically saying, listen, like he's not doing that on purpose. Like he's not purposely setting out to go, right. I care nothing about what you need from me. I'm going to not do it.
Yeah.
It's more about like he legit gets distracted and like his brain just doesn't function the same. Mm-hmm. And so I said, listen, you're expecting him to do things the way that you do them. You're expecting him to be driven by the same things, to value the same things. Yeah. And it's like, and we talked about how like the body of Christ and how we each have a different function. And so then she can't expect him to be identical to her, because then, you have two sets of eyeballs. Eyeballs can't do a whole lot, but when you start adding different body parts, like you can become functioning and do more things. And so, we really just kind of spent some time on, okay, so he's not meaning what you think it means.
Right.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah.
So, but to take time and say, okay, so this is what the action. What do I perceive him to mean? What did I think he's like? Like basically, he didn't pick up the things that he told me he was going to pick up. I think that means he doesn't love me. That I'm not important to him, or that like sharing her opinion and telling him things and him not remembering, and like she's like, well, why can't you not remember the things that I tell you? Like I know that these are important to you, or you tell me they're important, but your actions do not indicate that they're important. Right. And so two things need to happen. Yes, the husband needs to do some changing. Yeah. Right. But I wasn't meeting with the husband. I was meeting with the wife. So I had no impact on the husband. Although I'd love to have some impact on this husband. Anyway, but for the wife that I'm meeting with, to say, okay, so you need to take a minute and figure out what you're assigning to that, and then ask if there's truth there. Yeah. Like to use the scripture that we're going to take every thought captive and put it to, let's finish the statement, put it to the,
take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ.
That. And so taking it captive and make sure that we understand that it doesn't just go run rampant in our head. Yeah. They go, okay, so my thought is he doesn't love me because he does not follow through with the things that he says he's going to follow through with. Is that true? And so then I had her talk about, these are the other things that he does that I know he loves me. Yeah. And so then okay, so we need to understand that he does love you. It just doesn't look the way that you're needing it to. And the fact that he's forgetting this doesn't mean he doesn't love you. It means that he needs some more organizational skills.
Yeah. Well, and so, being on the other side of that kind of equation, I mean, I'm very much like that husband. Like, yes. I could easily forget to pick something up from the store 3 days in a row.
Let me say though, you have gotten tons better.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. I would want to make some practical recommendations to that husband, because I would be willing to bet that the last thing he wants to do is disappoint his wife. Mm-hmm. That he is as irritated with himself as she is with him for not picking that thing up for 3 days. He's probably kicking himself going, why can't I remember to go get that? That's so stupid. Why can't I do that? And so there are some really practical things that, I was really resistant for the longest time to writing things down or putting a reminder in my phone, or,
you were.
Just do it.
And you get so mad at me when I would suggest that.
Yeah, well, because there was something in me, and I don't know if other people who are listening can identify with this, but there was something in me that just felt like I should be able to remember that. I don't have to write that down. That
although our live evidence proved otherwise.
Right.
There was tons of footage.
So there was that part of it. And then there was also, honestly, because I am always so focused on what is right in front of me, even stopping to write that down or put it in my phone or whatever, like it felt like I wasn't going to be able to get back on track for the thing that I was doing. Like, I've got to do this right now or I'll forget it too. And so like there was that part of it too. Like, I don't want to be distracted. And even that little thing felt like a distraction. It would take me off of track and off of task for what I was doing. And so people who are involved in creative endeavors will probably understand this. Like, when you're doing something creative, and especially if you're on a roll, if things are going and you're, even a brief stop can cut off that creative flow.
Okay.
And so it feels really dangerous to take your attention away from it, even for a brief time. And so there was part of it was that, like, I didn't want to turn away from what I was doing, because, man, like, my whole creative process might be different when I come back. And then just that idea of, like, I'm a smart guy, right? And I don't say that like, it's like, I feel like I'm a fairly smart person. I'm a fairly competent person. So I should be able to remember to go pick up some milk from the store.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah. And so I was resistant to writing things down or putting reminders in my phone. The irony of that is, when I see people who, like, have lists in their phones and, like, write things down and have everything in their calendar, I always think, man, those people have their stuff together.
Yeah.
I wish I was like that. The only way to be like that is to
do it.
Yeah. And so I had to, as a matter of discipline, get better at it. And I'm still not perfect at it.
Right.
And I think that's part of what couples need to hear is that your spouse may never do that thing you're wanting them to do at the level that you want them to do it. Mm-hmm. But if you see effort, reward it, recognize it.
Yeah.
And understand that is coming from a place of love and wanting to serve you and wanting to love you well. And so recognize it for what it is.
Right. Well, and I think this situation could definitely be flipped. Like sometimes it's the husband that's got things like real structured and ready to go, and then the wife is more flighty.
Yep.
And so it doesn't necessarily
That's not a nice word.
Well, okay. Well, what word would you like me to use? Is more free spirited.
Yeah, I like
it. Okay. Anyway, so that this is an area that they're different with, right? And so then I do want to point out though that when you have this mix where you've got someone that's free spirited and someone that's really structured,
regimented, yeah.
Okay. What words are we using?
You don't like regimented?
I don't know. It's okay. So, but the deal is that you come together and you complement each other, right? You need both of you in this marriage,
yes,
because you need one of them to stay on top of things and make sure the tasks get done, and then you need the other one to kind of go, hey, it's time to relax.
Mm-hmm.
You need to chill out. We don't have to keep going at this pace.
Yeah,
and so then the regimented one says, okay, hey, step it up. This is time when we got to do some stuff. You can't keep watching TV for 10 hours. We got to get some things done.
Yeah.
And so, it is a balance and we should be able to appreciate these differences because honestly, this is probably something that drew you to your person when you were dating them, right? You appreciated that they were kind of slower paced or you appreciated that they had structure.
Yeah.
And so these are the things that made you want to be with them. And then once you are, they're the things that irritate you.
Yeah. Well, so that kind of ability, if it's an ability, mm-hmm. right, to give myself fully to whatever's right in front of me, mm-hmm. I think was part of what was attractive to me for you. Because when you were with me, mm-hmm. you have all of my attention, right? Mm-hmm. I give everything, and so I think that was attractive to you. I hope it was. I feel like it's,
It's been 25 years. I'm trying to remember. I do remember saying you just keep looking at me. You're not even you don't try to hide it.
That's just because I thought you're pretty.
I was still so mean. I got lucky that you stuck around. Well, and so definitely you were willing to give of yourself in those things. I think that was definitely true. Yeah. But then it definitely would shift though, because hey, we need to be focusing on these things. And it's
Well, part of what was attractive to me about you was that you seemed really put together and really organized and you had a plan.
Yeah. I
rarely had a plan ever.
True. Does that irritate you that I have plans?
No.
Never?
No, this is maybe another episode, but as an Enneagram 9, I really like to merge.
Oh, okay.
And so you had a plan. I was like, ooh, I can be part of your plan.
I'll go with you on your plan.
But that's something I've had to grow in as well, is learning how to plan and move toward a preferable future,
Yeah. Okay. So can you think of anything that you've assigned meaning to that you've struggled with? I think this is a really great follow-up conversation after our love languages conversation, because we think that when our spouse does something or doesn't do something, they're saying, I don't love you. I think if we go back to the anniversary is super important, and the fact that wasn't important to me, and if I don't do anything, then you go, well, she just doesn't care about me. Right.
Yeah.
If that's, and so that's not the case at all. And so I think it's about, we need to be able to know our spouses well enough to know, in fact, what the intention is. Mm-hmm. Right. And then be able to talk about that with them and say, hey, when you forget to do these things, it makes me feel like you don't love me. When you forget to go pick up the stuff at the store, it makes me think that I don't matter to you, because I see you doing well in other areas. I see you remembering to go to places that you're supposed to go to. I see you making sure that you've got this task completed before you go someplace. And so I know that you have the ability to do it. But when you don't do it for me, it means I'm less important than that other the other situation.
Yeah.
And so can you think of any of those situations for us that like that you would assign meaning?
I mean, I would say in those kinds of situations, what I would hear, so if I forgot something at the store 3 days in a row and you were getting upset about it, what I would take away from that is that you think I'm stupid, and so then, what I would do is turn that thing inward, right? And go, oh, okay, well, she doesn't see me for who I am. She doesn't love me, and I would also turn it in on myself and go, you're so stupid. What an idiot. Why can't you remember to go get something from the store? And so I would do that kind of thing. I think for me, one of the things that came to mind for me is like, I at least had a vision of snuggling in the bed every night. And when we were first married, you probably would snuggle with me for a few minutes. And then you would turn over and get to your side of the bed. And I probably assigned some meaning to that outside of it's not comfortable to do that all night long.
Yeah.
And so there was probably that.
And so that meant that I didn't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or I will come to your side of the bed, but
I can't come to your side.
Right.
Because I don't leave.
Exactly. That's exactly what I've said to you. Like, listen, I'll come snuggle you, but I'm gonna leave when I'm ready. Because if you come to my side, you don't leave, and like I gotta breathe. So yeah, that's very true.
Still true.
I should probably snuggle you more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe if you get fluffier, it might be easier to snuggle with you.
I don't want to get fluffy.
Anyway, so okay. Well, I'm trying to think if there's other things that I've done that you have assigned meaning to.
Putting boxes on top of the trash can just drives me nuts. You still do it. Now you do it as a joke, which
because I'm not being considerate of that you don't want the trash. That you don't want that on top of the trash can? Is that the issue?
Well, so real talk would be like, if the trash can is full, I'm like, why can't you just take the bag out?
Why can't I use your example? I'm in the middle of something, and if I get off focus, then I'm not going to get to finish it. And so, like, I've got to stay on task. And so, stopping and taking the trash out would get me off target.
No, that doesn't work because you took the time to pick up whatever it was that you put on top. Fine. And so, like, I mean, honestly, I'm like, even like, you don't even have to take it outside. Just take the bag out and put a new one in.
We'll see about that.
Well, and so
okay, go ahead. Finish.
So I could assign meaning to that if I wanted to.
Well, I'm glad that you don't. So I think it's important that if you find these situations where you are assigning meaning, like where you're something that's super irritating, like so your spouse does something, it irritates the snot out of you. You take a minute and go, okay, so what do I think that means when he does this or she does this? What do I think she's trying to say, or what do I think this message conveys? Yeah. And then you have to ask, okay, is there truth in that? Like, is that really what they're trying to say to me? Or am I assigning meaning? Yeah. Then after you figure out what that is, then you go to your spouse and say, hey, when you do this, I feel this way. Can we talk about that? And so like, is that in fact what you're trying to communicate to me? That you could care less about the fact that I need you to pick something up at the store? Yeah. Are you trying to tell me that my needs aren't important? Are you trying to tell me that that I don't think about anybody but myself when I'm leaving my work? And just check in about that in a way that's not argumentative, right? It needs to be conversational, right? And so I would think 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that you've assigned a meaning that's really not supposed to be there. Yeah, and it doesn't just have to be about forgetting things. I mean, sure, there, that the old leave your underwear on the bathroom floor. That it could be that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Squeezing the toothpaste tube in the middle rather than at the end. Probably one of you is an end squeezer and the other's a middle squeezer, and like never the twain shall meet. And those little tiny things, even though they are small, and when you say them, they sound very trivial, but we can tend to give them much greater meaning than they should have or actually do have. So it's definitely worth a conversation to sit down and say, where are we at on this? Like, are you doing this to irritate me? Or and then even like, how can I help you to change this?
Yeah.
What can I do? Like, maybe you need your own tube of toothpaste and you can squeeze it however the heck you want to, because I'm going to go from the bottom and you can go to the middle, whatever that is, right? Try to find some solutions. But remember that at the end of the day, this is the person that you picked out of all the people in the world to spend the rest of your life with. And so at one point, they're the most important person that you could think of, that you could not wait to see them. You itched to get to spend time with them.
Right.
And so then why does that have to shift?
Well, and I think you need to kind of rank them, right? Because there are some things that are they're just irritants and they're not consequential, right?
Right.
Like if they're squeezing the toothpaste tube in the middle and you're squeezing it from the end, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? It's not consequential. But if it's something that is, an area that they need to grow in. So like for me, forgetting things, but also being unwilling to put a reminder in my phone or write it down, that's going to be detrimental for me. Not just in our relationship, but in my professional relationship and in parenting, and in it has a ripple effect that can have consequences in every area of my life. I will be more successful. I will be better equipped to handle the responsibilities that I have. All of those things if I put a reminder in my phone, if I keep a calendar, and so that's a thing where not only will it benefit our relationship, but it can be helpful to me as a person to be more successful, to be more prosperous, to be, and so if it's that kind of thing, rank those things in order and go, okay, these are the things that I just need to let go of because they don't really matter. These are the things that we need to work on together so that it's not an irritant in our relationship. It's not a conflict in our relationship, and it helps my spouse to flourish.
Right. No, I think that's really good. And to be able to say, like, listen, this doesn't have to be a deal breaker, right? I mean, people get divorced over things like this.
Right.
And you don't have to do that.
No.
It doesn't have to end in that way. It needs to be a conversation.
Yes.
And sometimes you can tell yourself, this is a sign that they need me, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we weren't together, what would you remember to bring milk home? I don't know. And so like, understanding that
there would be things that I would not pack when we go on vacation if you weren't around.
Thank you. That speaks to my abilities to plan. And so you're absolutely right. Like we need those things. And there'll be times on vacation that we're about to go on that you're probably going to have to tell me to chill out a little bit and like to not be so worried about what's going to happen next. Like just to be present, right? Yeah. Because I'm going to be concerned about, do I have enough euros to do whatever we're supposed to be doing? Because I'm a little concerned about having to like exchange money or whatever. That's the anxiety that I have right now. So anyway, so have a conversation and say, don't do it in an argument or in a fight, but like sit down and just say, hey, these are some things that you're doing. And this is what I think you mean when you do them. Is that true? Right. And let your spouse have an opportunity to explain them.
Yeah.
And so, and I think also it kind of goes into sex. I think that's a thing too, that like,
oh, for sure.
Like, why you're not doing it, why you're asking for it, all the things. And so like, I think it's not just about,
I think it's really common for, one partner to want it more often than the other. And, sometimes we assign all kinds of meaning to that.
Right. And so it's not just about like, we're forgetting things, like you said earlier. Like there's a lot of areas that this kind of bleeds into. We just picked the forgetting one. And so, take some time to be self-reflective and go, what is it that I think that my husband or my spouse does, husband
that
or
I'm
wife
assigning
does.
a meaning to.
Yeah. And then check in about that, and make sure that you're not giving it more than it is.
Yeah.
So,
and, 9 times out of 10, I think you'll discover that the meaning you've assigned to it is not the one your spouse intended.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so we have one more episode for this season.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
While we go on a vacation and you tell me to chill out. That's what we're going to do. So.
And I forget things on the boat.
Right. So true. Okay, so still looking for the tagline. See you
until next time.